Good morning, dear Stitchers. This is Judy Whitman with JBW Designs, and I welcome you back. I so appreciate all of you who have watched the last videos and who have made comments. And interestingly enough, I get comments not only on the video, but people often email me with really interesting stories to tell, so all of those are treasured. Today, I have many things on my list to talk to you about. The first is I've brought you flowers, and don't you love this time of year? At least we do in our garden. Some of the things are coming up very late because our spring was very late, but my first bouquet of lilacs I picked today, and then also I also did a little vase of lily of the valley. So that's just to give you a little cheer here, a little flower cheer. So let's see. This is an exciting weekend for us because our granddaughter, Ashton, is graduating from college. And we are so proud of her. She is just an amazing scholar. She's just done so well in school. She goes to a school down in Indiana, and also an athlete. And this last week, she and her team were out in Oregon playing in a tournament. And although they didn't win anything, we were so proud that they made it that far because it's a really tiny, tiny school. So tomorrow should be an exciting day, and I will post some pictures maybe on my Instagram or friends page of our family together for Ashton's graduation. So let's see. I want to tell you about some of the mistakes I make. My grandson Liam was here last week, and he is just a great help to me. He said to me after dinner, "Nana, let's look at your analytics on your video." Now, how many 18-year-old boys would say that? But he's very, very supportive. And we were laughing because I said to him, I think I'm the queen of the unedited video, because every time I make a video, I watch it afterwards, and then I see all the things I forgot to tell you. So we kind of laughed about that. We also laughed about the fact that he and probably Chris Cross-Stitch are probably the only males in my video audience, but that's okay because I believe 99% of the stitchers out there in our world are probably female. So my first thing that I want to mention to you that was such an important fact, I'm going to lean over, and last week I showed you this amazing Trapunto quilt that's been in our family since actually the Civil War. Well, what I forgot to tell you about it, and this was the most interesting part, so we laughed about it afterwards, is actually the whole quilt was hidden in caves during the Civil War. And it was hidden in caves along the Arkansas River. And this story has been told through many generations. It was my husband's grandmother's mother who could tell her granddaughter that story. So it's just such an interesting part of our family history. Then I also had some questions about some finishing techniques. And I'm going to address that in another segment here in just a few minutes. Let's see, what else have I forgotten to tell you about? Oh, I want to tell you, once in a while, I love to just kind of update my office space. And this closet back here is actually my packing closet. And then I'm sitting at the desk where I do all my charting and designing, etc. So I was looking down at the desk blotters in both of these areas and decided I needed an update. So I want to show you what I bought because I just love it, and you might be interested in it too. So this is the blotter that I got for this desk, and I got it off of Etsy, and I believe the company is Aqua Magnolia, and I'll try to list that below, but they have many designs, and you can get whatever you want written on it, and they're quite reasonable. Actually, this one is fairly large. It works beautifully. I spilled a whole cup of tea on it the other day and thought maybe I'd ruin it. Nope, it dried beautifully. And so, this is a funny segment, I know. So then the other piece that I got for my packing closet, so I needed something. I also do my finishing there. It's just the right height for standing to finish, and I needed a surface to work on. And this one is not nearly as exciting, but it is another rubber mat, and this is made by the company Knodel. And so if you're in the market for things for your office space, that might be just what you've been looking for. So I want to do a quick follow-up. I'm going to move some things here to some finishing questions, because I addressed finishing last time. Let's see, that was video 36. And one of the gals wanted, so I thought of several things that I wanted to tell you. So the first question that I want to address is, I think there was some confusion when I was describing a finished ornament, and I didn't even bring a finished one over here, about how you attach one side, the front side with the stitch design on it, to the back side that has the linen. And these are just models that I've done that I use when I teach finishing classes. So, and again, I'm not an expert. When I do that, I show people how I do it. So now I'm going to show you exactly how those two pieces are attached together. So once again, sorry, upside down, we have our little snowman, we have our backing piece, and I just use a regular needle and thread and do a tiny, and I'll do one right here. I can do it quickly. Here we go. A tiny little running stitch. And of course, as I'm demonstrating, the needle comes off, but a tiny little running stitch that is going to attach, let's see if you can see up close, the front to the back. You can glue them. I just like the attachment of the two pieces. So I hope that answers the question for the gal who was a little confused about my description. Not surprising. So I want to also address what happens if you're finishing instead of a square ornament or a rectangle or a round, what happens if you're doing a shaped ornament? So I pulled out several models that are coming up actually in new books, and this of course is going to require a whole different template than you can do with a ruler. So I have a hint for you, and this was given to me by one of our viewers a couple months ago actually. So just lay your ornament design down on your printer and make a copy of it. And now you have a piece of paper that you can draw on with pencil and make a template so that you can cut your backing board, whether you use comic board or mat board, but now you have a shape that you can cut that will work for the design. So I did it also with the larger, the over 2 version, and just make a copy of it, and then you're going to draw a shape around that to determine how you want your ornament to look. So what if you have, I'm going to show you a couple more shapes. What if you have something like this? This is going to be in the new ornament book, and it's a dove. And this also, you could lay, when you're designed before it's finished, lay it down in your printer, make a copy of it, and then just do a tracing around the edges about, I would say, 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch. And I think the easier you make the shape, the easier it will be to finish. You wouldn't have to do it in this manner. This particular ornament was professionally finished and was stuffed. It could be finished as a flat ornament, and that might be easier for you. So then another, I have to tell you a little bit about this little guy. So this actually was a model that I stitched. I'm trying to get the threads out of the way. And I didn't really like the way he looked. He looked kind of eerie. He was stitched in blue. He looked just a little ghost-like. So that model was actually never used, which is why I use it for demonstrations. This is Sledding Snowman. It actually, I ended up stitching it on blue so that the white showed up a little more. So, did I say stitching snowman? Sledding snowman? No, I can't remember. Anyhow, that's why that little guy looks so peculiar. So now, what about another shape? And this I've shown to you before because I have several books that use this different shape. These are the tags. French Christmas tags 1 and 2. This one came out a couple years ago. It has 3 designs in it, and it's mounted on these little wooden tags, I call them, that I order from a company in France. So once again, there are 2 things you could do to make this shape. You could make a copy of the shape of the wooden part, or you could make a copy of the stitched part that you did. But either way, you could do a drawing, a pencil drawing on here of what you wanted the shape to look like when you mounted it on your board. And once again, you would do the same thing. You don't need a backing on this one. You would mount it on your board and just glue the edges to the back or use double-faced tape. So the other booklet that went with that design, or with those little tags, was the French Christmas tags 2. And that came out, I think, a year or so ago. These actually come in 2 sizes. It comes in a smaller size. You could work those designs over 1. And then it comes in the larger size that I showed you, that's over 2. And then I have some happy news and some sad news. Happy news, I'll tell you the happy news first. So Petite Cottages came out, let's see, when in March. It was one of my March releases, and it was really popular. And it is mounted on a similar tag, but it has a house shape to it. And I have been out of these for the last couple weeks, and I just got notification that they will be arriving on Monday. So I'm getting, I don't know, another gross or 2 gross of these little houses. Now, the sad news about this book is that someone notified me this week that there is an error in this title. And of course, I've told you before that designers we try so hard to get everything right, but we are human and we make mistakes. In fact, a very well-known designer posted something that she had just released and that they had found a mistake in, and she signed it her humble self. And I thought that's a good way to put it. We don't want to do this. It causes lots of headaches for us. So let me tell you what was wrong. So in this cottage, the blue cottage, one of the symbols in that code is incorrect. And I used a light blue in there. And I'm posting this, we'll post it on my Facebook page, we will post it on my website. The corrections are always posted there. And so it shows a slash line, a horizontal line for the light blue. Let's see what that color is, 3753. It actually should be like a solid half moon shape, or a half solid half circle. So I hope you'll forgive me if you have the booklet. Make a little correction for yourself, but as I say, we will be posting corrections for you. So let's see. Another update that I forgot to tell you in the first section. I told you last time about a shop owner in Louisville, Kentucky, Sandra, who owned the Finishing Touch. And she passed away very unexpectedly. And one of my viewers wrote and asked if I had found out any more information about what had happened. And I was so pleased that her best friend and partner, Carol, contacted me just 2 weeks ago, actually, to ask if I knew about Sandra and also to tell me what had happened. And it turns out she was having some heart difficulties. She had gone into the hospital to have a procedure, and obviously she did not make it. She only has one daughter. She was widowed, and her daughter does not want to keep the shop going. So we are very sad. She was one of the most elegant ladies I've ever met, and her shop was beautiful, and she had owned it for a long time. So it's really a loss for that area of our country. So that's just all we know, and we're so saddened by it for any of the customers who used to go there. So this is going to be a fairly quick video because I have a lot to do today. What have I been working on? So I showed you a lot of the ornaments in the last video, and I want to tell you really what a job it is to not only, of course, assemble the ornaments, design them, and stitch them, but also the next steps involve a lot of proofing. So I'm going to show you. So the gal that works for me, Dawn, she's the one that does the layout of my booklets. And so the very first thing that I do is I made a list of all the ornaments that are going to be going in ornament book number 4. And just as in the others, there are 20 ornaments. They are a combination of ornaments. Someone asked me if they could be purchased individually. And the answer is yes, in some cases. In some cases, these ornaments were used for a round robin, a class, or they're new, so they have never been published. But so if you are interested in just one ornament that you saw me show last week, please write to me and I can tell you, or other ornaments, what booklet it's from. So the next step after all of the first part is I need to write a text for this booklet, and it's quite lengthy because there's an introduction. There are also, I'll show you some of the pages here. So each ornament, of course, has texts that go with it, and then we need I need to look and double and proof the charts that Dawn has done for me, and make corrections on those charts, and then enter all the symbols and the colors that go in each ornament. So it is a very long process, and I have worked on it many hours this week. We're getting closer, but we're still making corrections, and we'll go over it again even after these first few steps. So the next step will be for Dawn to get the text to me in orderly fashion as we will print it, so that I can proof it again. So that was one of the things that I've worked on. I've also been stitching new models. I have 4 new designs that will be released, and I keep telling you I'm not sure when, but sometime. So I'm stitching models. Let's see, where am I? So all the models for the ornament book are finished. The models for the next book are done. I can't tell you yet what it is. I'm almost done with the models for the 3rd book. I probably 2 more nights and I'll get that one done. And then I have charted and designed the models for the 4th book. And I'm really looking forward to stitching those. It's a Christmas design. And isn't it ironic that in May we are working on Christmas? It seems crazy to me, but that's what it is. You know, we're going to be releasing things in probably June and August, and that's the next, and of course in fall designs too, and Halloween. So that's what we're focusing on. So we do live in a crazy world. So I have a theme today for the video, and it is alphabets. And if you follow me on Facebook, you'll know that I have a Friends of JBW Designs Facebook page. And it is a great resource because people post, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Okay, so here I can post. So the other day, about every 2 or 3 weeks, I post a contest. And the contest is 3 different designs that I've pulled from my collection. And I just ask my viewers, tell me what's your favorite. And people seem to love voting for this. It's so much fun, and they make the most wonderful comments. Yesterday, somebody said to me, this is like having triplets and asking me to choose my favorite. She obviously couldn't choose her favorite. So the designs that were in this week's contest, and I posted it on Instagram too, were Floral Alphabet, Chintz Alphabet, and Alphabetique. And then I choose a winner using a random number generator from all the people who make comments and vote, and then I send them the books that are featured that day. And it's been a lot of fun. It's a great way to advertise some of my titles. The other thing that happens on my Friends of JBW Designs Facebook page is that people post pictures of things that they have seen or finished. And this one was just, I know it's going to be quite blurry, but it was so much fun. So one of my viewers who had watched the video last time, Lana, noticed that or heard that I had a trunk show at the Stitches Unlimited in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And she went last Saturday and she took the most wonderful close-ups of many of the models and how they were finished. So I was very appreciative of that. And then also, this was posted this week too, and this is when I love people taking the designs and showing me a new finish. So Norette had taken the Queen Bee design, which has actually been out quite a while. I don't think there are that many copies of that booklet left. And look at the beautiful finish that she did. You'll have to look at it up close because it's just lovely. She's got a little tassel and beads, and I think she used a little lace trim. I just thought her finishing was exquisite. And so that is the whole purpose of this page, is that I love it when my viewers or stitchers or I hate to say fans, but I guess I should accept that. I do have fans finish something and it's so different than the one that I did, and then they post it on the Facebook page. So it's so much fun. I just love when people do that. So back to my theme for today. So as you know, I love alphabets. I can't tell you why, I just do. I started to look through my stock closet to pull out booklets that had alphabets in them. Oh my gosh, I came up with a pile. So this is going to be part one of the alphabet designs. I'll probably do 2 or 3 more videos and feature others. But it's always fun to see them up close and to hear about them. So this was one of the designs that was featured in this week's contest, and I actually made up the word Alphabetique. I don't think it's an actual word, but it sounded a little French to me, and this is a French design using the alphabet. And one of the things that I think that appeals to me is that I love the different fonts. So often in these alphabet designs, I'm not using the same alphabet throughout. I'm going through all of my collection of books and finding alphabet fonts that I think are unique and beautiful and fit in with the design. And you'll notice in all of these, well, maybe not all of them, 3 of them, that I often, when I start out with the A, I try to choose an A that's really dramatic and pretty. So that is the case with this one. And then there are all these little French motifs, the beehive skip and the hot air balloon and the Eiffel Tower and the heart and the crown. And the fleur-de-lis, of course. And in this design, I used both red and white. Let's look in the booklet here. I'll show you what the booklet looks like. And let's see, what did I stitch this on? I stitched this on Belfast Platinum. And the colors I used, this was done on a 32 count. Let's see here. So I used cherry wine, which is a sampler thread for the red, and I also used just a DMC white, the B5200. And then I love also, in some of the alphabet samplers, adding antique buttons. And those you could choose from your collection or find other buttons or just leave them out of the design. So that's the first alphabet design to share with you. Let's see, where shall I set it here? So this is another one that actually is quite old, but I pulled out the model when I was downstairs looking through my bins of models, and I thought, oh, I really like this one. Let's see, how old is it? Oh my goodness, it's from 2007. So it is very old. So let me show it to you. It's called French Country ABCs. And it's really intended as a sampler, obviously, for children. It did use the same alphabet throughout. I had both uppercase and lowercase letters. I think I thought about it as a teaching piece. I taught first grade, so it kind of goes with my first grade background. And then I added a little piece of lace along the top and then antique buttons under that lace. And that finishing style could be used, of course, with other designs that you've been thinking about finishing. So let me show you the booklet for this one. And it was stitched on a 28 ivory linen. And I actually did the one model in blue. If you can see on the back, I forgot all about this. I did another model on a very, it's probably a raw linen. Did I say in the, I'm looking in the directions to see if I indicated, but it was a very dark linen and it was worked in white. So that's another option for that same design. So let's see, another design that was in the contest this week was Floral Alphabet. This has been stitched all in one color, and I believe I've shown this before, but once again, I tried to find a very dramatic A to begin the piece, and when I was looking for the lettering in this, I was always looking for lettering that had some element of flowers or leaves, or let's see what else was in here. And that there's a flower in that one. This one I think I charted myself so that it could have flowers in it, but that was really fun to put together. I've seen this worked in all kinds of color combinations. Incidentally, this frame is from Classic Colorworks, their frame division. Excuse me, they're kind of noisy. And this was worked on a 32 count antique ivory, and it was worked in House Wine, which is a Classic Colorworks color. So I have two more to show you here today. Let's see. This one is called, this one needs to be ironed, but I was getting ready today and I was in such a rush, I did not iron it. So you'll have to forgive me. This actually was made using antique towels for the background and side pieces. And it is, I use the same alphabet throughout, and you can see the rose border. The booklet looks like this, Rose Motif Sampler. It has been worked on a 32 count Belfast cream linen. And let's check out the color. This was worked in Strawberry Fields from Weeks Dye Works. Or you could use hibiscus sampler threads. And I always give DMC equivalents, of course, for all of these designs. And this one has been out a while too. And I have one more to show you today. Let's see if I can reach it. This is fairly large. This one is called the Antique Rooster Sampler. And there is just a portion of the sampler. And there we go. So the whole design is illustrated on the back or photographed. And let's check out the fabric and let me show you the model. So this is the model for the Antique Rooster. Once again, I started with an elaborate A and then tried to find letters that had kind of a graceful look to them, a curve to them, and added borders, and of course all kinds of antique roosters that I found in Antique Rooster samplers. And this one, I think I've told you before, I've seen finishes of that have been just spectacular. So let's look at the fabric for this one. This was stitched on Zweigart Belfast linen number 32 in flax, and I used Schoolhouse Red for the stitching. So that's, I'm only going to show you 5 alphabet pieces today, but as I mentioned, I have, this isn't even all of them, I have handfuls. So it will be fun in the next couple weeks, if you're interested, to find more of these alphabet samplers and show you some of the things that you may not have seen before. So let's see. I want to thank a couple of Flosstube people who have been showing my work. Kim from the Contented Stitcher just stitched the Elegant Alphabet, and she did it on a 40 count fox and rabbit fabric called Ballet Slippers, which I think it's a really, really pale pink. And she used a Gloriana silk and framed it. It is in her, I don't think I wrote down which, it's in her last episode. It's beautiful, so you'll have to check out her finish. And then Annie from the Proper Stitcher mentioned last week that she is starting Summer in the Round, and rather than doing it in an aqua blue, she's going to do it in a navy blue. So I think that's going to look very, very sharp and nautical. And then Shanda Stitching in Idaho finished my Abington sampler from the first Antique Red Sampler book. So let's see. Oh, I wrote it down, and where did I write it? Oh my, it's not on this sheet of paper. Let me look here. Here it is. Sorry. I thought I typed it in one place and forgot to type it in the other. So last, I like to give prizes every week. And how I choose the prizes is that I look at all the comments, and then I use the random number generator. And you don't have to answer a question or tell me anything special. I just love hearing from you. So last week, last time I did a video, I had 2 people who I did not hear from. And so I'll give them another chance here to contact me. You can choose any of my new designs that were released in March. And it was Weta Flower Creations and Grammy Stitcher. So if you happen to watch this week and hear your name, please email me. I'm not, the messaging is a little fuzzy at times. It doesn't always come through. So email is the best. It's judy@jbwdesigns.com. So my winners for this week are Nicole, C-R-O-U-S, Crouse, and Diane Lynham. So if you hear your name, please contact me, and I'm happy to send out a free book to you. So I do have a website. It's jbwdesigns.com. I do have a shop on that website, and I hope soon to add another 40 or 50 titles to that shop. I sent my helper a long list, and it's going to take her a while to get them uploaded, but we will add some more titles. And let's see, what else do I have to tell you about? My Instagram is judy.whitman. So thank you so much for watching, and I have a thought for the day, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. My thought for today is needlework. It's similar to yoga. It calms your heart rate and breathing, creating a feeling of stability and inner quiet. Try to take some time for yourself every day and stitch. What great advice. So have a good stitchy week, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.